All right, let's do another one of these guys. What else am I doing? Okay, that's fun. Let's see where we are. Is this thing working? I don't think it is. I should have applied my changes. I have my applications up and running theoretically. This for some reason only works in a new window or private window. Doesn't seem to be working. That's kind of to be expected. So I changed up since yesterday. Oh, I guess I need to bring this over. Since yesterday, what I'm trying to accomplish today is actually going to be to not run these server init files, but initially I'm trying to get the databases set up using a single, okay, so first starting with a single stack script instead of two separate ones. Database 1, database 2, they should both be using configured db stack script, providing their respective variables, which is essentially the same except for this. Now I need to access these databases. So let's go SSH root there, and let's say yes. So what would have to have happened here? I guess I need to see Postgres. And I need to see the list of databases. Cannot connect to server, no such file. Is the server running? Okay. Okay, let's su to Postgres. So Postgres user was installed. PSQL error cannot connect to a server. Interesting. Let's try this. Authentication is required to start Postgres server as root. There we go. Okay. I want to list the databases. So let's do a command for listing them. No such file. Is a server running locally and accepting connections on Unix domain socket? It should be. Okay, let's see what this file looks like. The this will basically tell me if oh, that's the problem. That's the problem. Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem, or that's a problem. There we go. Okay, so create database name, user, privilege to user, and then the password. Okay, so that's one of the problems. That stack script should be fixed now, hopefully. And that would be the issue on both of the databases. Good thing is to know is that the database, the variable was passed in correctly. So let's try that one more time. Exit. Let's SSH. Terraform destroy. Auto approve and reapply it. Destroying. Okay, so that should be set. I think that means my stack scripts are working correctly. So the next step, correctly. The next step is going to be to replace text message. Okay. Right, I want to replace this remote exec provisioner with a stack script, which I have here that I started working on. And this is going to need, let's see, variable names. Example burp. So the variables that I have, shoot, where are the variables? How are the variables? They are like that, which is not what I want in a stack script necessarily. Okay, no, this is going to be, need to change that. Okay, these variables, right, that's correct, should be set. Then the variable I want to use is going to be like start command, or domain and node port, that's already set. I need to inject these variables. So the ones that I want to use are start command, domain, and node port. There's one question I have here, and that is that I need to provide environment variables like this. So I don't know if this is going to work unless I modify the start command. So there's one more thing I need to check. Let me close you. Let me check here. Let's go environment variables. Okay, I don't know how to do that. But this is still building, cool. But I wonder if these environment variables are just passed in because they're referenced like this, they might be made available. So that's what I'm going to go for. That's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to try adding these. Let's see. The ones that I need are domain, node port, and start command, right? So let's go. Name is start command. And this is going to be command to run to start app. This is going to be the node port. This is going to be the domain label, domain for the application, port where node app is running. Okay. The other environment variables that I think I'm going to need are, just going to grab them off of here. Database, user, password. I guess I can grab those now that I made that change. Shoop. Let's copy that. Let's see if we can get this to work. Database name, user, password, and then I need one more burp. This is going to be the host. And actually, I think I need one more. Port. Host, port, name, user, password. Cool. I wonder if those will be injected to the environment, hopefully. Otherwise, I'll have to figure that part out. And the start command is this. And I should be able to actually provide them here, because what I'm doing here is PM2 start. Okay. I think I can do this. I think I've got start command, I've got port, database, user, password, host, port, name. All of this will basically go right before PM2 starts. This is going to be run app with variables, database. I really don't know if I'm going to need this. I'm going to leave that like that. I'm going to get rid of these. I mean, technically I could just leave those right in line. That's not a bad idea. Okay, let me take this. No, I cannot leave those right in line because I need to pass these in. Okay, so this would be burp, 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 like that. That way, that variable is assigned to presumably what is already that variable, which I'm going to try to leave out. This is going to be the DB host. So I'm also going to do this because this annoys me. User pass host port name user password. Right? How did I set that up? Host port name user password. Great. And what we'll do is copy that and paste it. Let's see how that goes. There you go. That should maybe hopefully work. Should maybe hopefully. How's this? Okay, our new database is up and running. Let's SSH root at there. Yes, that's fine. I was able to get in fine. I guess the way to check is really with this guy. Not looking good. Unless, of course, that's a DNS issue. So next thing to check is my SQL commands, which are, where are they? PSQL. There we go. I want to check. I want to check the list of databases. Perfect. It did create my data. Yes, that's working. Great. So, stack script number 1 for the database stuff is working correctly. Oops. Is working correctly, passing in the correct database configuration stuff. Great. I'm going to do this again. So I don't think I need this. I should probably be checking some of this stuff into source control, but that's okay. So, database. Does it make sense to show the configuration stuff first and then the Linode instances that will use those configurations? Yeah, I think so. Why not? Okay. And the part that is not currently set up to work correctly is this stack script stuff. Which I think we're going to get this working. I think this is going to work. Oh, that's going to be really nice. Okay, null resource configure server. So we're going to get rid of these two. And then where is configure server 2? Just, it's doing the connection. Okay, we don't need to do that. What we do need to do is, I should have the stack script. I'm going to need this stack script data stuff. Those are my null resources. That's my thing. Okay. In application 1 and application 2, I need to configure my stack scripts. These are going to use the configure application server, not configure, and this is just going to be configure application. What do I have? Configure application. and configure database. Okay, configure DB I'm going to change to configure DB server. Okay. And this is going to be configure app server, which is going to run on these two. Okay. And with my stack script set up, I need to pass in the correct variables. These are not going to need this or this. I am going to need, let's go. Oops. This should be host and host. And I want to do the host. I need the, I think I need the port as well, right? Yeah. Okay, we've got host, port, name, user, password. And we have host, port, name, user, password. We also need start command. We need these guys. Burp. Uncomment those. Let's go. Oops. Let's go. Okay, label there. Okay, comma. So, right. You have domain 1 and 2. So start command is the same across both. Copy you, paste you there. This is domain 1. This is domain 2. Node port is going to be the same. Host is almost the same. Host is the same for 1, but you are going to be one of them, and then DV private IP is the host for the second. Host for number 1 is you. This should say port. This does say port. Okay. Host for number 2 is going to be the variable of the DB private IP. No, that's the host. Boop. Okay. So in theory, we have a stack script or a VPS that uses a stack script that passes in the start command, the domain. This needs to be domain 2. Great. The node port, the IP address for the database, the host IP address for the database, the port, the name, user, and the password. And then number 2 uses the same exact stack script, passes the same start command, domain number 2, same port, the private IP address for the database, which I think is correct, and then the port name, user, and password. I think that is correct. Let's see. Oh no. Oh yeah, I do need to, okay. I need to call this now. So we have configure server 1 and 2. We have rendered this server init script pointless. Except I do, no. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We are good. We are not quite good. I need these commands as well. Copy. Okay, because right now I just have, yeah. Stack script also needs sudo apt update, install nvm, install node, install pm2, build app is going to be okay, I need the GitHub repo. This needs to go like this. And then I need one more thing. Let's go before start command. The GitHub repo. Repo to clone. This is actually going to be not GitHub repo. This is going to be the Git repo, because it could come from somewhere else. Let me change my local Git repo variable name to GitHub to Git repo. Cool. And that should be it. Git repo, start command, node port. I kind of want that up here. I think I want the domain last for some reason. We clone it, we build it, we start it. It's going to start with this port, it's going to use these things, and it's going to be running there. Username, password. Okay, I think that might be it. So the question is whether PM2 will work like this or whether I need to uncomment this to pass in the environment variables. Let's find out. I'm feeling good about this. So once this is done, the only thing I will need to do is clean this stuff up, change the domain name. The caddy service is no longer using, or it's using legitimate SSL certificates, theoretically. And yeah. This is decent. This is decent. Application is using start script. Now where do I land? Is start script before? Yeah. Before server provisioning. So let's fix that. Let's come up here, pull that out, put it here. Let's go. Instead of VPS, we're going to call this application servers. I'm going to call this private network VPC. And then I think I'm just going to pull this down because I put that where it needs to go. Application servers. Domain DNS. There we go. That's domain 1 and 2. Cool. Database servers. Love it. Yo, what's going on, Stony? I think I got things set up. What I'm doing today is just like the cleanup stuff. if I get this stuff to work, then I'm going to call it done with this project. We're going to deploy it, hopefully, like on the new domain with this whole setup. What I've done today that I don't think you were around for is I've basically moved all of the content from this initialization script into a Linode stack script. The reason being that I basically want to remove as much copy and paste as possible. So now, I mean, technically it's not much different, but now all of the server initialization script lives in a Linode stack script, which gets created and put onto my Linode account, which I kind of like because then I can reference it from other in other formats. Like it's not so closely tied to my source code. And when I provision new instances, I basically have app 1 and app 2. And I have all of the information that they need kind of right here. Instead of what I had before was like a remote configuration block of code. I don't know how to explain this. There was a remote, basically, where is it? I have it actually right here. Wait, where am I? Here. Yes, here. I basically had 2 blocks of code, one for the remote execution resource that would set up command number 2 using this file. It was just not good. Didn't like it at all. So yeah, hopefully this will work. I don't know if that made sense, but made 11 resources. This I don't imagine will work because the DNS issues, but that's fine. I can kind of tell if it's working. I can kind of tell if it's working, I guess, by logging into the application server. And we can check PM2 list. Errored. It is running the correct start command. Let's PM2 logs. Not being able to find a file. Okay. Cannot read package JSON. Okay. Stack script. Okay, that's going to be an executable. It's not able to copy my code, which is weird because I should have git clone git repo. Let me check my stack script online. I've got setup server, and it's going to call git clone git repo. That's correct. Okay, I'm guessing git repo should have been run correctly. Okay. You and James collide with each other time. It sucks. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if James is doing every day. And he didn't freaking raid me, so what the heck? Adam.dev also is on right now. I think he seems like someone good to follow. He seems like he's got good things to say. No, it's not on you. They didn't raid. It's on him. It's not your responsibility. Okay, so the question that's concerning here. Let me see if I can /stack script. Okay, so this is going to try and run the stack script. What happened there? something's wrong. It's not finding app. So let's do, nope. Find git. Okay, so here's what I'm trying to figure out is reading state information. 42 packages can be upgraded, run upgradable. NVM is already installed. Compressing cleanup git repository. So this is the thing that it's not working. James was out the benefit of pulling in the people that know him from YouTube. Yeah, for sure. You gave him a smart target for him that benefits him. I don't know what that means. I'm pretty sure I have just one thing missing here. And that is in this stack script. It's not getting this GitHub repo correctly. It's missing this step, and then it's not running this one. Or it's running this one and failing. Let me see. Let's see. Echo domain? No. That actually kind of makes sense, maybe. So, can I cat this stack script? Yes, I can. Great. Which is basically the thing that I have, and it is trying to do the git clone. And it seems like NVM worked correctly. NVM, it is there. Node is there. Git is here. Beneficial target is someone who gets you more people to come check you out by curiosity. So you gave him a smart target for him that benefits him. Oh, got you. Like a target for the raid. You told James to target someone that would be beneficial. Gotcha. Ouch. What's that supposed to mean? I mean, who says like laughter is the best medicine? I got that to offer. I think that's pretty beneficial. Your health. But you know, whatever, Stony. No, I'm joking. You gave you I mean it's good stuff. Nah, like I appreciate you sending people over this way. I am very much of the opinion that I want people to do what is best for them. I don't want people to come to my channel because of some like vanity metrics. Like I said, I'm not charging for this channel. The reason I turn off monetization because I think it's best for my audience if they're not watching ads and paying for stuff. Like just get this stuff for free. That's what I'm here about. And that's like people will show up or they won't and whatever. I'm no longer interested in trying to game it for some external reason. My channel is kind of exactly how I like it. James doesn't have monetization. Yeah, that's great. But James has other reasons why he's doing it, right? Like growing his audience or whatever. I'm not really trying to grow an audience in case that wasn't immediately obvious. I'm doing stuff that anyone can watch. Like it's not proprietary necessarily. It's fun, it's engaging, and yeah, I mean fun, engaging. But I'm enjoying it, and it's work that I have to do anyway, and you know, building relationships. It's fun. You pushed him to do monetization. I mean, it's not for everyone. Like, I have a job that pays the bills, and yeah, the value I would gain from monetizing this channel is probably so small that it's not worth it. Yeah, it's good. I mean, James is a great guy. He's working hard. The other thing too, like, to keep in mind about creators is it's not necessarily that, like, your idea may not be a bad idea if they choose not to, or what is it? If someone chooses not to follow your advice, it's not necessarily because it's bad advice. It might be because it might be like a timing issue, right? It's not the right thing at the time, or like everyone is dealing with a finite amount of time in their day. And so sometimes it's like, there's so many things that we don't see that this person is working on or dealing with or focusing on. And the ROI for some things is greater that maybe they can't even talk about. That it's like, you know, sure, if you're going to be like recording a podcast anyway, you might as well throw it on Twitch. Seems like a pretty low lift for whatever gain it could be. But yeah, just like, I guess the point being, you bitch at me for streaming too little. So it's not about James and it's not about me. It's about you. It's about making you. It's about the benefit to you. Like, you just want the entertainment constantly and available. Okay, now I understand. See, everything, it's about context, right? Your advice is self-serving. It's not to help James. It's to help James help you more. Yeah, I can. Okay. I want to believe that everything worked. Yes, the start command worked, because I saw that correctly in PM2. Let me see what this caddy file looks like to see if that was set up correctly. Cat. Yeah, I didn't even get that. Oh no, it did get that far. Okay. That got set up correctly. So the only okay, I must have not sent something correctly then. GitHub, my Git repo is set correctly as far as I know. Now the only other question is, these are in quotes, and I wonder if this needs to be in quotes. Let's try that one more time. Destroy everything, rebuild it, and yeah. But in exchange, you do help me improve stuff on my streams, so I start to like it more and gain more viewers in the process. Yes. Definitely. You're probably right. I don't want to devalue what you do. You have given me some great advice on Twitch community or like culture. Yeah, but Stony, you know what I need to explain to you is the things that you consider value and the things that you are working towards may not align with the things that I consider valuable and am working towards. So advice on how to get someone, like giving someone advice on how to get where you are is great if they want to get where you are. But as I've said, like I'm not trying to grow my Twitch channel. And I'm really glad that you're here. Love how frequently you come by and these conversations and hanging out. I'm not necessarily trying to I like having fun. I'm here to have fun. I'm gonna have fun whether it's just you or whether there's like 100 people. In fact, it's probably gonna be way more stressful if there's like 100 people. So I'm actually really happy with how things are. Now I may not take your advice, but that doesn't make it bad advice. As I said before, context matters and values matter. And I think it's great advice for people that want to grow their channel, like James. James is a content creator. I'm technically also a content creator, and I probably should focus on growing my Twitch. But I mostly do this stuff so that I can create demos and written content to promote on other mediums. Yeah, that's true. You're right. You're right. Yeah. You give great advice for when you understand, and then and you listen when people say they're looking for something else. Like if I was gonna say, I'm looking for some really great company to hang out with in the Netherlands, you would say, I should stop bringing that up. It's a dead joke at this point. Okay. Okay. That is done. We have our new servers, I think. Let me go to my Linode. Let me grab the database. I think is working correctly. Let's maybe confirm that. The public database. Edit connection. If it is working correctly, this should maybe work. Heck yeah. Okay. Let's check the application. SSH root at that. Yes. PM2 list. Not quite. It's not restarting. PM2 logs. Do not read package JSON because it doesn't exist. Oops. That does make sense because the app is not getting cloned. Man, that's annoying. This is the line I'm trying to run, and I have my Git repo at github.com/AustinGill/Linode VPC demo. I want to. Oh, snaps. Is this the problem? Do I have. Hold on. This should not be. Oh, this might be the problem, actually. Where's my Terraform variables? Nope, I do have the right Git repo URL. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. My Git repo. Like this should work. Git own app. And then if I just run /stack script, it should actually do the same thing. NVM, node is ready. I want to see, what is it? systemd, npm found, taking packages. Not using node. PM2. Where is it failing? Gosh darn it. What is this? I'm not a person who forces my opinion on someone else. I will give you my unsalted opinion. Yes, very, very Dutch, which I actually value. I actually do not give a shit what language of software you use, only that I use semicolons in the right place. You'd only seriously force your semicolon rule when you work. Yeah. Yeah, but see, that's the thing is, the semicolon rule is even like a tired conversation because, yeah, you are pretty trusted. That is surprising. What happened here? Process not found. Yeah, sure, that's fine. No. No. Dang it. Let's run that stack script one more time. Process not found. This isn't going to work. This is not going to work because what? Shoot. What was I saying? Oh yeah, well, one, the trusted thing is pretty cool. That is a good vote of confidence for people in the community. Number two, the semicolon thing. The semicolon thing is such a tired argument because it's just it's just a linting. Just you set up a linter, you make a rule, you tell your code editor to format on save, and then if you have semicolons where you shouldn't, it will get rid of them. If you don't have semicolons where you should, it will add them. Yeah. Okay, that should work. Okay. It's just not working. Stony. One day. All right, Stony, help me through this. Why is this not working? And it gets past this line and works fine with other variables like domain. And if I hard code it in, it's going to work fine, but I really don't want to. And the variables are passed in from here. Get repo. It is all spelled correctly. I know what the freaking problem is. I'm a dum-dum. That's the problem. Yup. Problem is I'm a dum-dum. Nope. Problem is I'm a dum-dum. I'm not passing in the stack script data. Okay, cool. Let's do this. Burp. Let's do burp. Get. Thank you, Stony, for the help on that one. Thank you for the assist. Save. Okay, let's run this again. This time it's gonna. I know. It's because I'm doing refactoring. Okay, like that's fair. It's fair to do silly things. Let's see. Let's see. You are motivational and emotional support. Yes, you are. I was gonna say you also provide good code support. I'm trying to think of a time that you have. You are. I mean, definitely like thinking, and also like this is not the best format or the best platform for like providing code support, because a lot of times I'm busy looking at this and like the chat's going on. It's like I'm not even listening. And other times it's like the chat has no ability to like scroll and view. Like you can only see what the heck is on the screen. So yeah, a lot of times the support is honestly like the rubber duck debugging stuff. Like even that GitHub thing, pretty sure I would not have gotten it if I wasn't talking to you. Or at least I got it. I feel like I got it because I was talking it out and like running through it. Notice it only got fixed when I asked for help. Quack chirp, exactly. All right, that should be going. It is provisioning these applications. The applications are booting. Booting. 32%. Okay, applications are running. Things are fast. This is a lot faster than whatever I had before. The remote exec version. So that's already a big plus. I like that. Let's go into my app. Let's go SSH root at there. Yes. Cool. PM2 list. Fudge. What the heck, man? Okay. Still no package.json. Fatal repository blank does not exist. Closer. CD app, no file or directory. Okay. Repository blank does not exist. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. We are going to echo some of this stuff. First thing, right out of the gates. Very first line. Echo. Something like this. Domain. Git repo. Start command. Node port. Sure, just all of it. Oh yeah, I started using, and this is just going to go into temp.txt. I started using Codium, and I think I like it so far. All right, let's try this again. Oops. It's getting close, Stoney. It's getting real close. I don't know why I spend so much time on like tightening things up that honestly may not even matter all that much. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is modify this README. I have a Qwik City app running the Node server. I am going to change this. And this is going to be Linode VPC demo using Terraform. This demo app provisions to application. I should probably type that right. To application servers and 2 databases. 1 app plus db pair is publicly available, and the other lives within its own private VPC network. As a result, network with only exposing the app server to public traffic. As a result, what is this? You're a professional front-end engineer, no doubt about that. I know I should treat myself as an engineer too. I think that's probably like feeling like a junior developer oftentimes, or like imposter syndrome, is often the result of exposing yourself to a lot of people who are really good at their own narrow area of expertise. So I found that it took me a really long time to finally come around to considering myself an expert. And that's because, yeah, I was like, I'm a junior at like 95% of the things. I need to start reading your messages in order. Well, the last one is Qwik chirp. And then you are a professional front-end engineer, no doubt about that. I know I should treat myself as an engineer too, but I still feel like being like a beginner junior level programmer. You need to start reading my messages in order. What? That's how I see them. Software, and it sometimes feels like it never ends. Yes, I know. What? Are they coming in out of order? That's how I'm seeing them. You feel some so many times, and having other programmers that also struggle but then get it in the end motivates you. Yeah, you're not the only one that gets stuck. You're not the only one that's dumb. I think that the fact is, this is an industry that like you're constantly honing your craft and you're constantly upskilling. And because you're constantly doing that, you rarely spend time at the peak of your level of expertise, because you reach a certain level and then you already start moving on to the next thing. So 2 solutions to that. One is develop the habit of taking a moment to stop and look at what you've done and say, holy cow, last week I was back there. And like this Terraform stuff, right? Like this stuff took me way too long for a simple demo. But the fact is now I have a pretty good grasp of Terraform, which 2 weeks ago, no idea. Never would have had never even touched it, right? Now I kind of understand how it is, for where it fits into a stack. I can talk about it competently. I can probably talk about it to a degree that makes me sound like more of an expert at it than I actually am. So that you have to keep that in mind too, is what you are being exposed to from other people putting their content out there is really only the stuff that they actually know about, and it's not presenting the inner dialogue of the things that they also feel like the Terraform stuff. If I talk about it today, I would probably sound competent, but in fact, I have no idea what a lot of this stuff is, right? I'm very much a beginner at this. I think if someone came into the stream today having not seen anything else, they would be like, whoa, Austin, he's a Terraform guy, because that's just what I'm talking about today. Now, so you have to be kind to yourself. Another thing to remember, this is critically important. This is a very recent lesson that I've learned, is the importance of recognizing that you treat others, and you like the general you, but also you Stony, you treat others with kindness and grace. And when someone stumbles or messes up or does something silly, most of the time, most people will respond with like, hey, it's okay, don't beat yourself up. This is hard for everyone. You're doing a great job regardless. But when we tend to put those, we tend to extend that kindness and grace outward, but we don't do it inwardly. And this is something that I am trying to do now. Where when you mess up or make a mistake or whatever, treat yourself, have that inner dialogue the same way towards yourself as you would with one of your friends, right? Because you should be your own best friend. So that's another thing. So one is you have to take anything that you take in from someone else and pass it through a filter and acknowledge that whatever this person is trying to tell me is just a very narrow area of expertise, and they're not smart at all the other stuff. And the actual content that they are giving me is only the stuff that they actually know about. And even the stuff that they know about, I'm only getting a filtered version of it. I'm not getting all of the doubts and self-criticisms and things like that makes them feel like juniors as well. You do have more to say about that. I mean, you can always DM me. You know how to find me. Yeah, I think another thing that helps with not feeling like you're good at something. Well, the other thing was that, yeah, you have to stop and recognize that you actually are good at something. Don't only look at the things that you're working on now that is tough. Look at the things that you've done that was tough. Like you have done, Stony, like you're really fucking good at stuff that I have the whole image or like video encoding stuff. That stuff seems like black magic to me. Like so far above my skill level that I'm like, that's for the experts, you know? So yeah, you have to like recognize where you've been good, where you've come from, how far you've come. And also something that has helped me is it's easy to, there's this funny, it's not a logical fallacy. It's a I wonder if it's a paradox, but it's the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's when you have someone who actually is like an expert at something. When someone's an expert at something at the very highest level, they tend to overestimate their expertise in other areas. So you might talk to someone who is an expert, and then you ask them about something completely unrelated to their area of expertise, and they'll formulate some opinion and speak about it, and then they tend to think that they might know what they're talking about, even though, like, you know, I don't want to get too political, but the pandemic was a great example, was where we had a lot of people who are not experts in disease questioning the, you know, national or world leading expert in epidemics. And we should be questioning them, but coming up with like not very intelligent reasons. You've dealt with toxicity when it comes to a senior god complex. Are you talking about internally, like you have been toxic and you are trying to fight those demons, or other people have been toxic of being seniors? I mean, that's like the bad apple thing, right? Like, not, you might come across one really toxic senior developer. That doesn't mean they're all going to be toxic. That doesn't mean you have to be. Yeah, there's a lot of weird toxic behavior in this industry, and a lot of it is actually probably derived from insecurities about themselves, ironically. So that leads me to another point, which is that a sense of self-worth and value and competence and confidence does come from being good at something. Unfortunately, software, as I mentioned, software development is hard to do the same thing over and over. Like, you only get good at something if you do the same thing over and over. Software is kind of hard because you're constantly kind of shifting and working on the next problem, and the next problem is usually something new. So my advice here is to develop hobbies outside of software where you can, and spend time doing things that you can get good at, and you do get good, and that sort of helps mold your general sense of confidence, and helps buffer some of the emotions that come up during software engineering. You never ever listen to what you said because he's all-knowing. That is a tough one. That is a fault on someone else, and frankly, being able to compartmentalize the things that we need to worry about and the things that other people need to worry about is kind of hard. Like, it gets muddy sometimes, but essentially that's a problem. That's like a that person problem, and how they behave. Like, my emotional response to how they behave is my responsibility. So if they make me feel like shit, that's only because I gave them the power and leverage to do that. Of course, that's easy to say. It's hard to protect yourself when someone is attacking you or making you feel bad. But it is the sort of thing that's like, dude, that person's wrong. And sometimes you have to work with people that are difficult, and it's like you have to work around or compromise or whatever, but that doesn't make your suggestion wrong. It's just maybe you have to find a way to speak to these people in a way that they understand, you know? Yes, your hobby is software and anime and movies. I wrote a blog post about that. My hobby was software for a long time. It still kind of is. It's not. I am kind of taking a step back from that and developing other hobbies outside of software because it did have a negative effect, putting all of my eggs in the software basket, and then that basket did drop, and a lot of those eggs broke. Dealt with a lot of like emotional strife and bad internal dialogues and thoughts and depression, things like that. And I'm just saying, like, where my journey has led me now is I still like writing software. I still love doing this. I enjoy it. There is an important aspect in my life of developing other hobbies. And that was really hard to pay attention to. In fact, I ignored that when I was knee deep in software because no other hobby felt as good as writing software. That might sound familiar. And to be honest, I don't want to tell people not to do that because that made me a really freaking good developer really fast. It was great for my career. But there is long-term effects that I'm dealing with now. So you don't even have to, you don't have to take this advice. Just sharing my journey, my experience, it may not apply to you. It may apply to you, but it does relate, in my experience, to this complex of like imposter syndrome. Yeah, I mean, it sucks working with a senior developer that sucks. Yeah, I mean, take this, you can approach it this way, right? I can totally relate to not feeling like an expert when probably I was. You don't have to, you may not consider yourself an expert software engineer, but you are an expert. You're an expert at your app, right? The app that you build, you are the world leading expert in that, right? Okay, that might not mean too much because it's like your app or whatever. I'm the second world leading expert in my dog Nugget, right? No one knows Nugget more than I do. I'm not going to win any sort of accolades for that. But you can extrapolate from that, right? Like you have your tech stack, your application. And then from that, you have the software specifically used for your application, right? So now you're the world leading expert in your app, maybe not in the software that you're using, but as far as the world is concerned, you're maybe one of the top experts, right? In that stack. And then from there, you can go broader and broader and broader until ultimately you land on like software engineering as a concept. I'm not a world leading expert. I'm not an expert software engineer by any means, knowing design patterns, knowing architecture choices, or all this stuff, right? But I think I am an expert, and not world level, but I think I am an expert JavaScript developer at this point. I know it well enough. I can rattle off a lot of things off the top of my head. I can build a lot of things, and that's cool and great. I am at a level where I have a certain amount of expertise that I can demand compensation for work done, right? Like I can approach a problem and feel competent enough to solve it, and I can demand compensation for it that's pretty decent. That is a sign of an expert, right? I think a sign of knowing something is being able to explain it to someone else simply. That also takes, communication skills, but hold on. I want to make sure I am not completely losing track. Oh, yeah, baby! Okay, we're in business. I am an expert software engineer, baby. This has been a good talk, by the way. I feel like to be honest, I feel like I have some advice in this category that's worth sharing, but I rarely ever do because I usually focus on like the hard skills, the specific tech stuff. And I'm not saying like I have things to say because I'm important and smart. I'm saying I learned some difficult lessons that I would like to share so that other people don't have to go through what I went through. What in the butt? Okay, that is not working. But we learned from before that might still be okay. So database or application server 1 is working, right? And we have the caddy file set up correctly to use it. In theory, everything should be working because PM2 is running. Let's see, PM2 logs. Okay, it should have gotten everything on the database. For all intents and purposes, Node application is running, reverse proxy is running, configured correctly. Database should be up and running. Let's confirm that. Database IP address. We're going to edit connection, modify that. Test connection, cool. Okay, let's see. Open it up. We've got databases, we've got schemas, we've got tables. Pokemon table has the data in it. Perfect. So our application was able to connect to the remote database and put in the information. So I think the only issue right now is a networking issue. So the way we fix this is, one more time, let's tear down the house. I'm going to modify my variables such that we use the super cool domain names that Stoney came up with. Which was Poke VP Center 1 and 2. I think I have those configured correctly. Heck yeah. That's going to go up in a moment. And back to the chat. Still just laughing at me. You know something completely unrelated to this application or what I'm working on? I see people... What you working on? Oh, Shook. I don't know if I should mention your real name despite knowing it, so I'm just going to call you Shook. But, oh, Shook. If only it was not a giant pile of blah. Let me get this next command running. That's going to take a little while, and then I'll walk you through it. But it's a lot of DevOpsy. Yeah. It's been a. I'm in the pain cave. I've been in the pain cave. I'm coming out. I see the light. In fact, we've come out. We've poked our head out a couple of times, and then I just kind of do something that like pulls me back in. I don't think my therapist makes enough money. Put it that way. Oh, you know what? Actually, the command is running because I'm doing it all at the same time. So we can go through this. I have a Qwik.js app. The fact that it's quick is not very relevant, but that's the front end side of things, or like front and back end side of things. What I'm actually working on today is I have a demo that I'm trying to give next week at a conference that showcases a new product in the Linode suite, which is, I mean, not so new, but it's a VPC. It's a virtual private cloud. I might be redundant on some of the things that you're aware of. I'm just going to go into more detail than potentially necessary. But a virtual private cloud is a way for you to... You know nothing. You just missed. I don't know if you were here for the conversation that Stoney and I just had around junior developers. You actually know a lot. You just know a lot about like your little area of expertise, as we all do. And we all get exposed to a lot of people that know a lot about their little areas of expertise, but because that's the only part that they show us, we feel like, oh, everyone else knows a lot about everything. I just know a lot about this. And even if you say you don't know a lot about one thing, guarantee you do. I was just making the example that I know a lot about my dog Nugget. I'm the second world leading expert in my dog Nugget. So cloud is not your area. Yeah, and cloud, frankly, if you're a front-end developer, if you're a back-end developer, my opinion is you do not need to be a cloud expert. You should find or work with or like be in a company, get yourself far enough that you can do things, or use services that will get your app up and running. At some point in some teams or companies, someone needs to be the expert of this. I'm doing this because I'm doing a demo and I'm interested, and it's something that has come up a few times, and I think I need to pad my knowledge. So take that with a grain of salt. But we have a VPC, the virtual private cloud. It basically is a way when you put a server on the internet, you can choose who can connect to that server, who can interface with it. And when we talk about websites in general, the approach is allow everyone, anyone, any host to connect to this website. That makes sense because I want people to be able to access my website, obviously. In a lot of situations, you don't want everyone to be able to access that server. A good example is a database. So what you might have set up is a application server that is publicly or available to the public internet, and it is going to communicate to a database. And you don't want the public internet, like everyone, to be able to get to that database, because even if it's protected with a username and password, the access controls are another layer. So if, for example, you don't open it up to the public internet, you can actually freely hand out your username and password to your database, and still people can't get to it. Not a good idea, but there's an extra layer of security. So what a VPC does is you have the cloud, right? It's kind of like the cloud providers. It's like the public internet cloud. What you can do is create your own little private cloud within the larger cloud. And you can put servers into that private cloud and control how those servers can communicate to each other in such a way that you say, everyone in this cloud, you can talk freely, and anyone can talk to each other only within this cloud. And the app that I'm building basically puts a database in that private cloud, and it puts an application server in the private cloud. But the application server can kind of peek outside of the cloud. So traffic can get to the app server freely. The app server can communicate to the database within the private network. What do we got? Like a VPN for databases. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. VPN is technically a different concept because that's, it's kind of similar. Like I connect to a different computer so that I can then connect to the public internet is generally how a VPN might work. And that concept, yeah, you're kind of routing through. Not exactly the same because I'm not necessarily routing through the app server to get to the database. That's just how a standard architecture would work, whether it's public or private. But yeah, I think you're kind of, we're there. So that's all the sort of concepts of what I'm building. Yes, similar functionality, similar concept. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. I also have. Why are you being difficult? He's being uncomfortable. Dog tax. Yeah, he's I don't know if he's getting too hot or what. He's just moving around a lot. So what, like, that's all the concept, and what I have been doing in my career up until now has been, this is also related to, all right, dude, you got to go down. What? Here we go. Hold on a sec. Okay. And blanket. There Okay. So you are not about to ask to come back up. No. Okay. Cool. So what I've done in my career, and this kind of dovetails with Stony, the conversation that we had earlier, and Qwik, the conversation or the point I made when you first came on about not knowing stuff, was I've known how to build applications for a while, mostly front-end stuff, some back-end stuff, whatever. And I've known how to deploy applications, but my knowledge has always been very manual. Like I know how to provision a like I know how to log into Linode, generate a new server, walk through the cloud dashboard architecture thing, maybe do the same for a database, and then SSH into these servers, and like I can clunk my way through getting the servers provisioned with the software that I need. And I've done that too long at this point, especially as someone that creates educational content for other developers, and there's tools now that are just kind of better, especially to automate that. It can save a lot of time. I do a good job of not saving time. So one of the tools that comes up a lot in my work and when I talk to other... This dog. I gotta turn the nugget cam back on. I'm gonna, if I have time, Stony, at the end of the stream, or you might take off early. If I have time, I should set up my little nugget cam. There you go. So a lot of the industry, a lot of the problems that have been solved in the industry for a while is like, how do you provision infrastructure in such a way that you get the same infrastructure reliably without having to manually log in? Like manually logging in doesn't just take a lot of time, it also is prone to error because of humans. You should take off early. Yeah. Well, if you gotta take off, you can take off. I'll see if I can remember to set the nugget cam up. So all that to say, that's where the concept of infrastructure as code comes in. And Terraform is one of the main tools for that. So in this project, I was learning Terraform by setting up a demo application that puts a Node server on, or a Node application on a server, spins up another server, connects a database, and blah, 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 kind of the whole architecture I described, and does it twice, one for a public app and one for a publicly accessible app where the database is in the VPC. So, all that to say that we have a Terraform script now that I have a bunch of variables set up to begin with for configuration reasons, and it kind of sets up more config stuff to push to Linode. And then I tell Terraform, hey, I would like you to set me up a private VPC network, please. And then I would also like you to set up this bash script that sets up the servers that I want. And actually, I'm gonna boop, that's gone. That sets up these servers that I want, how I want them in a reproducible way. Use that script on 2 servers, right? Application 1 is going to use that stack script, and it's going to provide the configuration options it needs for that server. Application 2 is going to use the same exact stack script to get set up. It's going to provide its own variables, and it's going to, I'm going to tell Terraform to take this VPS or server and put it in the VPC that I created earlier. I don't need this stuff, which is great. Love deleting code. Then, you know what? This domain stuff, this is going to go down at the end. Then, I want you to do the same thing, kind of, similar thing. I want you to have another script that's going to be responsible for setting up a database, a Postgres database with all of the credentials and passwords and stuff that I need. And then I'm going to provision 2 more Linode servers and pass in the configuration options for those using the stack script for the database configuration. So 4 servers, 2 of them use the same script to set up the application server, 2 of them use the same script to set up the database server. one of each of those gets put into the VPC that I set up. And at the end of everything, I have some domains in my Linode account, and I'm using Terraform to also point those domains to the application servers that they correspond to. Oh, go tell your kids hi. That's great. You should probably just step all the way away from the keyboard and just hang out with them. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what to do as a parent. Actually, you have your whole responsibilities and values in check. But very glad to see that you are taking some time to say hello to your kids. What a great mom. Okay, all that set up, that took quite a bit of time, but a lot less time than it would have taken me. And fingers crossed, let's see. Pokey, vpcenter1.austingill.com. Stony, what are we thinking? We're thinking it's gonna freaking work, baby. All right, moment of truth. Kind of moment of truth, but number 2. Booyah! Oh, freaking love it. You see, Stony, this is what it's all worth. Like if I were to have gotten this right the very first time I ever did this, I would not feel this feeling that I'm feeling right now. This is coming out of the pain cave into a wonderful world of sunshine and green grass, and there's deer over there prancing around, and there's some butterflies and some bluebirds. Bluebirds? That's a word. Bluebirds. There's some birds that are the color blue chirping away. He told me it was the name. I need to stop eating mushrooms. You don't tell me what to do. Okay, so let's do one more thing. The actual demo of why this is cool. The reason this is cool is because, technically speaking, not 100% because of the configuration stuff, but technically, factually speaking, both of these servers are configured, both of these databases are configured with the exact same script, right? They both have, here we go, you can see it. They both are using the exact same script to set themselves up. They're both using the exact same database name, username, and password. One of them is allowing access from every host on the public internet. The other one is only allowing traffic from coming from the same network, which is the VPC. And the sort of moment of truth magic here is if let's edit connection. If I change this test connection for the public one, oops. Yes, I want to reconnect. If I try to connect to the public one at the public IP address, I can do so using the public IP address, the port, the username and password for the database. And you're just kind of gonna have to trust me that I am copying the correct IP addresses. But if I change it and try to connect to database number 2, which lives within the VPC, I am not going to be allowed to. And that's because basically my IP address is being blocked, or it's not within the list of allowed IP addresses to connect. Hooey. That was a lot. I'm going to, let's see. Let's open this file. This file is no longer needed. Booyah. Love that. And all of these changes. This one, I'm going to add all of these and remove the README because I need to modify the README. I'm going to make one little change that you're not going to be able to see. I'm going to copy this Terraform variables file and rename it tfvars.example. Okay. That, whoop. Shoot. Did I really just expose my, that's embarrassing. I did this whole stream. And not even the stream today, Stony. I did this whole, and you know what? It doesn't matter because I copied it in here anyway. Okay, whatever. That's dumb. Okay, let's just do this. Let's go burp. Doop, 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 doop. Shoop. Wait, no. Let's go here. Doop, 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 doop. Shift. Go back one, delete that. Okay, great. I did this whole freaking series of streams, and now I have to remove my stupid Linode token and redo it because I freaking exposed it. Gosh darn it. Where is it? Okay. Revoke. Let's create a personal access token. Gosh. And I'm going to say this expires in 1 month anyway. What is it? Dev leak Terraform demo. Has access to everything. Create this access token. Copy this access token. Go to my freaking things. Replace it. Okay. At least that's taken care of. Oh man, who we got? Let's see. Coming back, I was missing the chat, so I saw, what's the O/? Scrub dev. I don't know what that O/ is, but lower the music 5 decibels. There. Oh, I can do 5 decibels. Okay, I think that's about maybe right. Scrub dev, IP whitelisting or allow listing. Yes, you can do that. So this is another thing that's going to be mentioned in the demo. Is like a VPC is not the only way that you can limit access from IP addresses. If you want to do allow listing, you have to know ahead of time what those IP addresses are. Not even necessarily ahead of time. Like I can access IP addresses in Terraform. I can have Terraform provision a script and then access the IP address from the server that it created, and then I can write that onto into the allow list, right? That's certainly one way. That's a little bit, that is less dynamic and less flexible because you have to have those specific IP addresses, or you could even do an IP range. I like the VPC approach because basically I can add and remove servers into the VPC without having to modify the IP address on the database server. Another approach that you could take is have a firewall rule, and then when you provision a server, you can modify like the firewall rule in one place. Not going to say that VPC is the best way to always get this result. It's one of the ways, and it's the way that I am demoing, so that's why I'm using it. Most songs are okay, but some overtake me. Good job. Thank you. Yeah. Freaking, I was this close. The app was done. The demo was done. All I was doing was like, now I'm doing the README stuff where I basically say, oh, hey, by the way, when you want to provision this, make sure that you copy the Terraform vars example file and then fill in the stuff and blah, 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 whatever. No, I mean, I fixed it quick enough, and that was just like all of the stuff in the example file. We can actually look at it here. None of this stuff is important. I mean, sure, the database stuff is important in general, but the one that really mattered for this demo is this Linode token, which is what Terraform uses. And if I expose this and someone uses it, you know, you could provision IP addresses, or you could provision servers and databases and basically anything in my Linode account. Don't want that. Accidentally pushed the env file for your Discord bot. Oh yeah, exposing on a live stream is one thing because you can I mean, I guess in pushing an env variable or an env file is the same, but I feel like exposing on a live stream, I kind of like know immediately. Mess that up. Pushing an env file might be like a little while before you realize, oh shoot, shouldn't have done that or forgot. Maybe we should get Git to just never accept env files. I mean, you can do that with the git ignore, right? So you would just put your .env file into git ignore, which is what I have here. I have git ignoring my terraform.tf vars file. Problem is I like copy and pasted to example and blah, blah, blah. But in the end, your boss will pay for the accident. Yeah, well, it's not the demo that I'm worried about. Again, like if you have the username and password for this, I can tell you the username and password for this demo. I probably shouldn't do that because it is going to be a demo and someone could like change the name of some Pokemon into something. I'm not even going to give you, why am I giving you good ideas on how to hack my stuff? I'm not. The reason why this is a bigger problem is because like someone could spin up real world servers and like, let's say start a crypto miner or something on my account. And that could like use a lot of resources, which is a problem. I mean, sure, it's a problem for cost. And the fact that like, I work for Linode and they could just like invalidate the cost. Sure, that's one thing. But even so, you could say it would use a lot of resources, could cost the company some resources in what it uses. It could be bad for other applications that are on a server because I am deploying, like it could be deployed to a shared server and then you have a noisy neighbor issue where you have one shared server with several applications and one of those applications is consuming all the resources in such a way that all of the other apps, which could be other Linode customers, could be suffering. Also a problem. I mean, it's resolved, but yeah. Let's see. I mean, you don't need to put it in git ignore. You have to include it instead. I don't think that's a good idea because .env is not the common convention across like all programming languages, and Git is just a general purpose thing. I mean, Git could also be used for things that are not programming, so .env like that wouldn't even make sense in that context. I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah. And yeah, I like the git ignore approach. You had a git ignore setup and yeeted .env template up with that. Okay, without the dash template part, without realizing, and since the file existed on the repo, Git was like, send it. Wait, so you had git ignore set up for .env. Oh, yeah, that's like, how would you do that? Like drag and drop or something for the template? Yeah, the other thing that I almost just did is like, you have to be a little careful with, is I think it's a pretty common practice to have this example file, right? Yeah, don't like that. To have an example file like this. And the way I generally keep track of my example file is I will copy the real file in and then like copy and paste it so that then I have so then I'm not like missing something, right? Because it's hard to keep these in sync. Generally in a workflow, you would like do some coding and then you're like, oh, I need a new environment variable. Let me add it to my env file. Let me use it in my app. And then I totally forget to update the example file. So I think it's a good practice to just like copy and paste the real env file into the demo and then just like clear out all of these values. But what could happen if you forget to clear out the values is this is not being git ignored. And then this gets bloop sent up. Gitignore.io. You know, OBS has this really terrible in-app browser. Search operating system. Oh, this is cool. Okay, that wasn't very good. Code. Okay. I mean, it mentions IDEs. You tell me. Okay, what about JavaScript? JavaScript? All right, fine. We'll just use Java just to see what this is gonna do. I like that. Yeah. Oh, so it's like generates a good one for you. That's kind of cool. I usually what works for me is I will end up using some sort of templating tool. Like today I'm using Qwik, a framework, and they do a good job of shipping with a git ignore file, so I don't actually have to do a whole lot. Okay, stream is going to be ending pretty soon. I think what I'm going to do is just add this README, add this line to the README, mention the Terraform stuff, mention what it does. So hold on. Only exposing the app server to public. As a result, even if the database credentials get exposed, attacker, now let's say only other computers within the VPC network can access the database. Okay. The demo uses Qwik City to build a for the application, and Postgres for the database. We use Terraform to provision all infrastructure and put the source code into the servers. And then what? Let's see. When Git ignores for the frameworks, but not when it provides Git ignores for the frameworks, but not the language. Yeah, I mean, I think we can see what an example is. So this, I had to add this line only. So we have, yeah, I mean, this I think is for the framework. It also includes some things for the editor. It doesn't include anything that's language specific, and that, like, you might be working in some, I don't know what would be like a JavaScript specific thing. There is the runtime, so there's Node.js, the Node modules gets ignored. I don't know what any of this other stuff would do. VS Code, don't know what that is. Yarn. Panda, this is a library, so a styling library that was added after the framework was initialized, but the framework, well, the CLI for the tooling added this for me, basically. And then I manually added that. You can add a bunch of stack items in there, and it gives you, yeah, so it's really like AI. JetBrains. Yeah, I have seen some that is like operating specific stuff, like Mac or Windows. Okay, so demo uses Qwik City for the application and Postgres for the database. Use infrastructure and source code. Let's see. C/Terraform. c/terraform folder to provision your own app. Copy the, what is it, /terraform/terraform.tf vars.example file to and set the appropriate configuration /environment variables. Okay, something like that. The following is the default README for Qwik city. Okay, and then we can leave that, and that's fine. That feels good. All right, I'm feeling good about this. Yeah, README, you can jump on in there. And let's say we got, I'm just gonna do, it's working. Don't touch. Okay, we'll send that up. Send that up. That is done. Okay. What do we got? You had fun with AAOA. Finally took my advice and stepped out of beginner course hell. Yes, beginner course purgatory. You gotta get out of this tutorial purgatory. Made something in code that doesn't end up in the void. Yes. It's so nice. It's so nice to build your own thing. I mean, it's nice to build someone. I think there's a lot of fallacies in web development or in programming in general. There's the fallacy of watching someone else and thinking that you are learning by watching someone else. You actually take in such little information just by watching someone else. And that's, I don't want to say it's a problem, but it's, for lack of a better term, there's a pattern in the industry right now where we are, as content creators, myself included, we are creating content to be entertaining, or like edutainment, which is like, you know, you get on TikTok and you watch someone write something and it's like either the speed coding or some of the other stuff, and it's like, it's really, it's just entertainment. It doesn't serve a lot of educational purpose, but we, myself included, believe that by watching this, oh, I'm not just like wasting time on Twitter or TikTok or YouTube, I'm actually learning. And it's not the case. And I'm not judging people for doing that because like I said, it is entertaining. And if you want to be entertained that way, sure, but calling it like it is, you're not actually taking in the information. Then you have like the next level where you are actually watching tutorial content, and maybe it's like not the educational kind, or the entertainment kind, but it actually is educational. But then you're not following along with them. You're not stopping and challenging yourself when they tell you to stop and try it yourself. That's like a little bit of that actually gets in. And then following along with someone with a tutorial and pausing and like typing it yourself and trying to get it to work, there's so much more education you get from that. But honestly, the best thing you can do is once you've finished a course or once you've finished a tutorial or done something, don't stop there. Take the thing and modify it and break it and figure out why you broke it and how you broke it and how you can fix it and how you can change it. There's so much more educational purpose or educational effect from that. And then I think the last one is like go and build something yourself. That is, you'll learn the most. And it has to be something that you have not built before. because there's this concept of like the software engineer with 10 years of experience. You have to question, or you have to be aware of yourself. Like, do you have 10 years of experience, or do you have 1 year of experience 10 times over? Meaning you've done the same exact work for 10 years. Now, some things you get better doing the same thing over and over. You're going to be really freaking good at doing that one thing. But it's important, if you want to advance in this career, to be cognizant of where you have learned what you're going to learn, and if you're not in a place that is going to continue to push you and put you out of your element and into that area of discomfort where growth happens, it's good to be aware of. You don't have to be pushing yourself. You don't have to be constantly learning. If you're doing something that you're really good at and you just do that for 20 years, that is totally good and reasonable and totally respectable decision. It's the important thing is that you make it a conscious decision. You don't accidentally find yourself in one position or the other. If you want to be doing the same thing for 10 years, go find a job that you can do the same thing for 10 years. Get really good at that. If you want to be learning and growing, go find a job every, 2, 3, 5 years that is going to push you. I mean, you don't even have to change jobs actually, but find work on a, day to day, week to week, month to month. Check in with yourself and say, is this where I want to be learning and what I want to be learning? Learning on its own also is not enough. You have to be cognizant of the direction where you are learning. Oh, what do we got? Checking the chats again. Thanks to the name change suggested by Stony. Nice. You had to actually hammer in that you dread helping him on those things. Yeah. What about doing that one thing over and over in all the languages and stacks? I think doing the same project in many languages and stacks. Again, I'm not going to give you like it's good or it's bad. Depends what you want. There's good to both, there's bad to both. Doing the same app, like I have a friend that has like they made their own program. They programmed their own game. And they end up rebuilding the exact same game, probably with not even adding new features, so many times. And to some people, you might say that's a waste of time. Like you've spent 5 times the effort because you've rewritten it 5 times, and you haven't actually made progress on the game. But the reality is that they don't want to make progress on the game. They built the game because they wanted it, and now it's built or whatever. But they want to learn something new, and so building the same app actually has the benefit of reducing the amount of variables of what you're learning, right? You are no longer learning how to build certain features of the app, or the features of the app are they're irrelevant to what you're learning. You are learning the programming language or framework or tool or whatever it is in its purity, and you don't have to think about what should the app have. It actually streamline some of the decision-making process. You don't have to make decisions because the decisions have been made. The architecture is decided. The features are decided. Just learn the language or framework. The downside to that, in my opinion, is that you get a introductory or a cursory level of knowledge in like 5 different things. But if you want to build something robust and very complicated, you generally need a higher level of expertise in something. And a lot of the concepts you learn in one language can be applied to multiple languages or frameworks. Take like reactive programming that sort of React kind of introduced. That's now applied to Vue, or like, two-dimensional data binding or two-way data binding, or like one-way data binding, understanding those concepts. That knowledge applies across frameworks or tools. So it's not like you just get the knowledge of that one stack, and then when you start in a different language, you're starting from scratch. A for loop is a for loop. So it's good, but you aren't going to get like to some very complex problem solving necessarily. I think that answered the question. I think I covered both sides with the pros and cons, right? 100%. You also think people don't take advantage of how their brains retain knowledge. That is a great point. You have to learn how to learn, and you have to learn how you specifically learn. When you're learning to use a tool like Anki, don't know what that is, to put info into your own words and spaced rep it. Yes, I think I agree. Some words I don't understand, but I think I agree. Use a tool like Obsidian. Sounds really awesome. Love the concept. I don't think I can do it. Take notes. You attain way more information if you take notes in your own words. Yes. I can't tell you. I learned the time I learned this lesson, I was taking a history course in junior college, and it was a really difficult teacher. And I would basically listen to what he would say and just write down everything that he said. And I didn't change the notes or change what he said or write anything that he didn't say or like interject my own stuff. I just was writing, not word for word, but basically writing the concept of what he said. And that gets it in, just physically writing it, probably even more than typing it into Obsidian, but physically writing it gets things into your brain so much more. And probably, yeah, using your own words helps probably solidify around that topic. You would never fit somewhere where your only job is to bug hunt and make small incremental code changes. I'm with you. I'm in the same boat. I have a lot of respect for the people that can do that, though. And that's a very important role. So, tip your bug squashers. Also, like people that do code review. Love them. Look up spaced repetition. Okay, we'll do. Off stream, I think. This is so beautiful. I just want to leave it up. I feel great about this. I'm happy with how this turned out. It's not there's nothing super fancy. It like literally renders a page. It receives a request, goes to a database, reads that data, and renders a page, and it uses some pre-built Tailwind for it. But I feel really good about some of the decisions in this. I feel good about the learning that I had. I feel good about some of the decisions I made. I don't love Tailwind, but I think this was the right decision because I was able to go and use. I didn't have to make decisions around styling. I didn't even build a lot of the markup. I went to a template that someone else built. Could it be improved? Probably. Did it save me a lot of time? Hell yes. Did it save me a lot of mental cost in thinking about how things should look? Should I have a border radius? What should it be? What should this gray background be? What font family? I do enjoy doing that, but for this specific task, I didn't get too distracted from the goal at hand, which was the Terraform stuff. Stoked. Time for you to start bitching? Dark mode. That's a reasonable complaint. I'm going to push back on that, though. I think adding dark mode to an app is very little value. There is value. I mean, customers like it and whatever. But consider if I had unlimited time, absolutely, let's do dark mode. Yes. And I'm not even saying unlimited time, but the opportunity cost of putting time into supporting dark mode versus supporting another feature. There's a lot more value add for other features, I think. Dark mode default. Sure, I could have done that. And I would have if it was a copy and paste like someone else's thing. Yeah, sure. All right, well, that's as far as I'm going to get today. Thanks for hanging out. Sony, we had a little bit more chat. And Scrub, thanks for hanging out today, too. I don't know if this was your first time, but I haven't seen you in the chat recently, that's for sure. Shook, you came back. Yes. I'm glad that you enjoyed them. I hope that they were coherent enough that they actually made sense. And yeah, Stony, I'm only singling you out because you seem to be on every single stream. Should I do more of these like chatting opinions stuff, or should we keep it to like building stuff? Let me know. And everyone else in the chat too. Like, if you came back, did I say anything that you agree with and want to hear more of outside of the technical stuff? Yeah, shoot me a message after the stream. This is going down. That's going down. I feel so much better. It's like, what a terrible thing. Something that I think is a bad habit is very closely tying your emotional state to the progress you made in your work. That said, I feel terrible when things don't work, and I spend a lot more time with things not working, but when it does work, oh my gosh. Well, put that in a bottle and sell it. Let me hardline that. It is one of the best feelings in the world. It is a thing that keeps me programming. It's chasing the dragon. Yeah, cool. All right, thanks for hanging out, y'all. I'm gonna take off. Let me see if there is anyone that I know. Shook, are you gonna be streaming a little bit? I know you were on earlier. I caught you for a little bit. You come back on, or are we gonna raid some Dungeons and Dragons stuff? That's the only person I see that is on. So that may be where the raid goes. Same raid target for me. Who was the raid target? Same raid target for me. Who was the... Probably... Okay, so... That is in like 2 hours, right? Four hours. Ugh. Times are hard. All right, I'm going to send Todd Libby some love. He's not doing any programming stuff as far as I know, but he's a cool guy, and he's doing some Dungeons & Dragons, and I kind of want to go and say hi and peep it anyway. So let's go Todd Libby. Here comes the raid. And thank you all again. Mwah. This was such a pleasant stream. Catch you next time. I will be on tomorrow at 1 or 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard. I don't know what I'm going to do because this got finished, but I kind of want to keep this week's streams alive. All right, let's go.